We will then call on you to ask your questions. Alternatively, you can ask your question via the chat feature. So first question to Lucia.
Hello, Maple. I'm Lucy Weir, content creator from Peru. Unfortunately, PSG is out of Worlds after today's match, and people has been talking about you considering retiring. So, do you guys have any regrets about your performance during the tournament? And which team do you think could win Worlds this year?
首先对于你们今天的比赛表示非常的遗憾。那其实也有听说你有在考虑退役的一些问题，所以说也想问一下，可能在这次赛事当中，觉得比较有遗憾的部分是哪些呢？同时，如果让 Maple 选手来预测一下的话，会觉得谁会赢下全球总决赛呢？
比较遗憾的是，其实我觉得今天我们队伍的状态挺好的吧。我觉得我们如果在更前面就有这个发挥的话，我觉得我们能赢下更多比赛。然后有机会获得冠军的话，其实现在还看不太出来。但我觉得，因为我自己会是秋衣，我自己很常学习秋衣，那我会希望秋衣拿到一个冠军。
So I feels like maybe for the regrets, we feels like maybe for today's game we really have a very good momentum, but we still didn't manage to get the victory. So hope if we were able to really have this kind of momentum, this kind of form previously, earlier on, be able to really have a good performance in the previous matches. Hopefully, maybe we could just win more games, and get a better result. And for the team that going to win this tournament, until now, I feel like it's hard to make the prediction still. But I feels like because I really learned a lot from Chovy, so hopefully Chovy could get his World Championship title.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next question from the chat. In an interview with us, you mentioned that you will retire after this year. Today, after the end of your Worlds journey, how do you feel, and do you want to send some words to GAM Esports, your remaining brother team, ahead of their tomorrow's game against TL?
那在之前的采访当中，Maple 选手也提到说，可能会在今年之后选择退役。那么今天，在结束了这一次全球总决赛的征程之后，想问一下现在是什么样的一些感受？同时呢，有没有什么话想要对 GAM Esports 说的？因为他们也算是你们剩下的一个兄弟的队伍，然后同时他们也将在明天的比赛当中面对 Team Liquid。
你听 Ricky 跟谁？按说 GM 嘛。
他想问你对
OK
GM 有什么事？
OK，那我先回答第一个，就是退役的话，其实回去会再好好想想吧。那我觉得今天比较可惜的就是我们队伍大家都打得挺不错的，然后可惜最后输掉了嘛。那我觉得大家其实都蛮尽力的，那就是团战操作没有配合的特别好。那 GN 打 TL 的话，就是那我会就帮 GN 加油，希望 GN 能赢。
So for the first game, well, for the first question, whether I'm going to like make the retirement or not, I'm going to think about it later. And for today's game, we feels like for the team we performed quite decently, but unfortunately we didn't make the victory. But I feels like all five of us we just tried our best, but maybe the mechanics and some team fights we didn't manage to do it so well. And the words maybe to GAM Esports, I like to just fight. I like to say just fighting. Hopefully they can have a good performance.
Okay, we'll go to Yumi, the next person in the chat, or using the hand raise feature. Yumi?
Yes. First, congratulations for your effort. Regarding the following phases, what surprises do you expect in the character selection? Do you think that playing with risky selection is useful in the quarterfinals?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yep. Regarding the following phases, what surprises do you expect in the character selection? Do you think that playing with risky selection is useful in the quarterfinals?
那也想问一下，可能在整个选角的方面，有没有什么比较让你感觉到很惊讶的部分？然后这些部分可能未来在8强或者比赛的后面的阶段的话，你觉得会更加通用吗？还是你有对此有什么样的一些想法？
宣教吗？
嗯，是的。
其实这个版本，我觉得大家的 meta 都差不太多吧。那就是用内跟 Aurora 是比较 OP 的。那其实，在子方的话，就要选择要双开还是两个都 ban 掉。我觉得这是蓝方比较大的优势。
I feels like maybe I know all the meta is kind of the similar in terms of the understanding and the reading towards the meta, but maybe for the mid lane Yune and Aurora could be quite OP. So if you're in the red side, you really need to make a very careful decision whether you like to ban out these two champions together or you maybe to just open it both. So I think this is the most crucial part.
Thank you.
Next question to Danny Meow.
Hello, Maple. My question is, mid lane pressure was intense today, to say the least. What do you think could have been done differently to gain more control over the mid lane?
那其实能够感觉到，可能今天在中路面对的压力是比较大的，所以说可能你觉得中路的部分有哪些部分还可以做的不太一样呢？
第一把，我觉得我对线打的挺好的吧，就是在用内打欧罗拉其实是打到优势的。我觉得第一把对线打得不错，那第二把的话就是比较可惜的是，我们中野前期其实算是被压制了吧，然后前面就给了杰西人头，所以前面算是比较劣势的开局，那这是比较可惜的地方。
So actually, I feels like maybe for game 1, I performed quite decently in the laning phase because getting this unit facing against Aurora, I got some advantage in the laning phase. But for game number 2, our mid jungle got really they were able to give us a lot of pressure in terms of the mid jungle, and also we gave just some kills in the very beginning. So I feels like it's a bit pity about this part.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and the next question now to Miguel via the chat. What does PSG learn from their time, or what has PSG learned from their time at Worlds in 2024? In what aspects do you think the team improved?
想要问一下，你觉得在这一次的世界赛当中，PSG 有学习到哪些经验呢？然后同时，你觉得在哪些方面，这队伍整体现在有所进步呢？
学到的话，我觉得我们队伍进步最多的应该就是我们的进攻性吧，因为其实，在 PCS 的时候，其实我们是比较发育的，然后到了世界赛，其实每一队的进攻回合都非常的快。那我们有开始学习，然后在今天的对决中，其实我觉得我们的进攻回合跟 BLG 是差不多，所以我们才能在团战中就是打人多打人少这样子。
So the things I've learned the most, and also the parts PSG as a team have made the improvements on the most, is definitely the aggression for the game. Because previously in our regional league in PCS, we're kind of the team like always do the farmings a lot. But coming here at World Championships, I feels like all the teams they just performed very aggressively on the stage. So we have been starting like learning about the aggression. And for example, for today's game, it feels like the aggression will kind of perform quite decently and have the similar performance with that of BLG performed, especially around some team fights, because that could be the reason and why we were able to have some very good team fights. Even we have less teammates around me, but still we can win some of the team fights.
Okay, and the final question now over to Kenzie.
Yeah, do you have the Korean interpolator?
네.
아, 하겠습니다. 그 월드 여정 끝났는데 고생하셨고 이제 선수 생활하는데 11년 됐잖아요. 좀 미래에 대해서 고민해 본 적이 있는지 궁금합니다.
네.
世界赛之旅到这里就止步了，选手也辛苦了。那作为职业选手来说，对于未来有怎样的一个考虑呢？
未来的话，现在还没有，因为我刚结束嘛，也没有想那么多的。我现在的话就只想要好好休息吧。
미래에 대해서 생각은 이제는 생각하지 않고, 왜냐면은 이제 월즈는 방금 끝났잖아요. 그래서 일단 들어가서 푹 쉬는 게 일단 제 목표입니다.
谢谢。
Okay, and that concludes the media scrum with Maple. Thank you to Maple for joining us, and thank you to the media for joining us as well.
Thank you.
Hi, media. Here we have the scrum for Elk from BLG. So, media, as always, you can ask the question using the hand raise feature. We will then call on you to ask your questions. Alternatively, you can ask your question via the chat feature. So, handing over for the first question, we'll go to the chat to Trang. Congratulations for the win today. Your team changed jungle from Wei to Jun and have immediate results. How do you think the change of jungle has affected your gameplay?
那首先恭喜你们赢下了今天的比赛。今天呢，你们队伍在打野位置的选手轮换上面是勋选手上场，并且好像有立竿见影的效果。所以你觉得这一个今天对于打野位置上的改变是怎么样影响你们的游戏表现的？
其实我觉得两个打野都非常的优秀吧，然后只是说在我们前几场的比赛的时候，我们整个队伍的状态都没有特别的好，然后因为就是我们觉得就需要寻求一下改变嘛，或者就是换一下整个团队的氛围吧，对。
First off, from my perspective, I think these two junglers are very great players. You know, in the previous matchups, we didn't perform really well, so we just want to have some change, you know, in terms of the gameplay or the atmosphere environment. That's it. So that we decided to make a change and try.
请问队员们目前的心理状态如何？怎么评价你们今天的表现？
我觉得今天赢下来还是对我们非常的长士气吧，然后就希望我们在下一场比赛的时候能够正常发挥出我们该有的实力吧。
首先恭喜 BLG 赢下比赛。暴龙电竞想提问 Elk 选手，之前采访你说这个版本 AD 能影响比赛的局面比较少，但其实你的发挥算是左右了胜局。那又是如何评价今天自己的出色发挥的？
首先 AD 在这个版本更多的就是跟着整个团队去选英雄吧，然后去搭配阵容，然后今天自己发挥，就我自己觉得还可以吧，因为也没有那么大的失误吧，对。
And next question to Lucia, who's got a hand raised.
Hello, Elk. I'm Lucy Weir, the content creator from Peru. Congratulations on your victory. Many fans of the LPL have high hopes on BLG to recover in Worlds as they are their first seed. So, which have been the issues that BLG had to fix during the competition in order to get the victory again today?
恭喜你们赢下了今天的这场比赛。那在这次世界赛上，粉丝们对 BLG 有着很高的期待，特别是期待你们能够从前两场的那个状态当中呢，重新的找回状态，重整旗鼓。所以你觉得今天你们能够赢下比赛，最主要的原因是什么？你们着重是提升了哪些方面？
我觉得就我们现在最主要的目标就是能够在比赛上面找回我们自己的状态吧，然后就发挥出我们整个队伍该有的一些水平吧。然后对于比赛的话，就是因为我们还有最后一场比赛嘛，就是我觉得只要进入了8强，就完全会不一样的。
So actually, I think our goal right now is that we need to try to find our form back in the competition and try to perform the competitive level that we should have. And for speaking of the matchups, you know, we still have one match to play, but I'm sure that as long as we got to the quarterfinals, we will get perform better.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the last question by the looks of it, to Damiao.
Hello, Elk. First of all, congratulations on your win today. My my question is, your dominance in the bot lane was clear. What do you think were the key factors in outplaying the enemy bot lane, and how did you maintain your lead throughout the game?
首先，恭喜你们赢下了比赛的胜利。那 Elk 选手在下路的统治力一直是非常非常强的。你觉得在今天对阵到对面的比赛当中，你们能够获得优势，然后能够赢下比赛的胜利的原因是什么？特别是你也是通过自己下路的表现，对整个的战局发挥都很关键。
我觉得我们今天整个队伍的打团比对面的更好吧，然后自己也在前期的时候发挥出自己该有的优势吧，对。
So I think we had a better team fighting than our enemy opponent. And personally, I also performed and showcased my strengths in early game that I should have in the competition.
Okay, and then Pedro Romero, your question?
Yes, hello. Likewise, congrats on the W, as was said by everyone else. You mentioned a little bit about just performance. One thing that I kind of want to focus on, specifically individually speaking, is Ben and his performance, especially in the later stages of both matches in this series. How crucial was it to, have him pop off in those crucial times, and how just how big of importance it is also to just have a player like Ben in order a player that can do moments like this when the time requires for it.
首先，再次恭喜你们赢下了比赛的胜利。那接下来想问到的是，今天的2局比赛当中，你们的上单选手兵都在游戏的后期发挥出色，可以说帮助队伍力挽狂澜。所以你是怎么样看待兵今天在2局当中后期发挥的表现，以及说你觉得对队伍来说有多重要，能够拥有在这样的时刻挺身而出的队友和选手？
怎么说呢？就是我觉得我们整个队伍其实大家一直都是非常优秀的选手吧。然后，陈德斌的话是因为他是上单位嘛，我觉得他在单线上面的表现还有统治力就毋庸置疑吧。然后就希望我们能够在比赛上面每个人都发挥出我们该有的优势，就是我们就一定能够赢下比赛。然后我也觉得就是我们。不管对手是谁，就是我们一直以来最大的对手，永远都是我们自己吧。
So first of all, I think that all the players of our team are great players. And speaking of Bane as the top laner, I'm sure that his performance and his dominance on the top lane has always been very powerful. I think that everyone in our team should have our better performance in the game because, from the long time so far right now, I think that if every one of our team can have the good performance and that is we're still trying and striving for it to make sure that everyone can step up in the competition.
Okay, and the very final question now to Kenzie.
할로. 大家好,我的 한국메이트 켄지 질문하겠습니다. 사실 BLG가 LPL에서 스프링하고 서머에서 되게 강자로 불렸고, 요번 대회에서도 우승 후보였는데, 지금 스위스 스테이지를 보면 좀 부진한 모습을 보여주고 있거든요. 내부적으로 좀 메타 적응 문제인지, 좀 그런 게 좀 내부적으로 어떤 얘기가 나는지 하고요. 마지막 경기 임하는 각오 들어보겠습니다.
其实大家都知道，BLG 的话在 LPL 不管是春季赛也好，夏季赛也好，都展现了非常强大的一个面貌。本次世界赛之旅的话，你们也是夺冠候补之一的队伍。那非常想知道你们在目前的赛程中，队伍内部是有怎样的一个沟通交流，以及说你们是不是对于版本的一个适应存在一定的问题，以及对于瑞士轮的最后一场比赛有什么想说的？
首先，如果让我自己感觉的话，就是我觉得我们整个队伍其实更多的就是在在比赛上面，游戏内容上可能没有打得特别的好吧。就是 最主要的问题是需要我们我们每个人在游戏上面，就比赛上面去找回我们每个人该有的一些状态吧。然后面对最后一场比赛的话，就是我们一定要赢下来，然后去到巴黎吧。
저 개인적으로 저희 모두 팀원들이 인게임의 경기력은 제대로 나오지 않았다고 생각하고요. 그리고 개개인 원래 있었던 잘할 수 있었던 그 모습이 나와야 된다고 생각하는데, 그래서 마지막 경기는 스위스 마지막 경기는 꼭 이기도록 하고, 그리고 파리 갔으면 좋겠습니다.
PSG 엘크.
Okay, that concludes the media scrum. So thank you to Elka for joining, and thank you, Press, for setting up today. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.